This is the actual site I send recruiters, not a template. This is what's linked on my resume right now. And here's exactly how I write up project so it reads like proof instead of a code dump. The difference between a project that says, here's some code, and one that says, here's a problem I solved, how I write that up for both technical builds and professional work, and the one section most portfolios skip entirely. A recruiter spends about 30 seconds deciding if a portfolio is worth a second look. A folder of code doesn't survive that 30 seconds. A clear problem, a clear fix, and proof it worked does. Real site, real sections, nothing is hypothetical here. About says where I'm going, not just where I've been. Skills are grouped by frameworks, engineering, and GRC practices, not one giant, undifferentiated list. And projects split two ways: personal builds I did on my own, and professional work from my actual job. Both matter. A hiring manager wants to see you can build independently and that you've done real work under real constraints. Here's the project card for the 6-week GRC Engineering Challenge and why it's structured the way it is. Notice what's there, what the project is, in one line. A week by week table showing the actual progression, not just a finish result with no path to it. Real controls named SD28, AC3, CM6, not vague security best practices. And the section most people don't name, I've put in the actual portfolio on GitHub, which is the what I do next. Naming the real gaps, compliance mode object locked, CM2 and CM8 is more credible than pretending it's finished. A write-up that shows the path and the gaps reads as more senior than one that only shows a polished result. Here's the same structure, just applied to actual job experience. The problem: manual spreadsheet-based access reviews. Fix was migrating to Okta's native certification workflows. Review time dropped from 70 to 80%, from 1 to 2 weeks down to 2 to 3 days. That's a real quantified outcome from real work, not a side project, a resume line turned into a case study. You don't need 5 side projects if you have real job experience. You need to write up the job experience like it's proof, because it is. Almost nobody documents what they learned specifically. That's a mistake. 3 specific things from building the 6-week challenge: a Terraform data path gotcha most people don't hit until they've actually built with policy as code, a silent exit code bug from piping through T, and why keyless signing beats a stored key. None of these are generic. They prove I actually built this, not that I read it. Specific mistakes are more convincing than a polished summary. Vague competency is forgettable. A named bug you actually hit isn't. Most technical portfolios are written for other engineers. Yours should be written for the person deciding whether you get the interview. A hiring manager often can't read your Terraform. If the write-up only makes sense to someone who already knows the tools, it's not doing its job, which is getting you into the room where you get to explain the code yourself. Write the code for engineers. Write the case study for the person deciding whether you get the callback. This is the actual site linked on my resume right now. 6 weeks, professional work, written up the same way, live today. Subscribe for weekly GRC and AI governance intel. This site is a custom build, but the write up template works no matter what your portfolio is built on. If you want a faster starting point than coding a site from scratch, I also have a free GitHub portfolio starter kit linked below. Comment which project, technical or professional, you're writing up first.